Katie. But after I met Katie, being around her, I'm able to love now in a way that I never imagined being able to love in my life. I didn't know this dimension of love existed when I met Katie. And I mean, it would have been easy to go through my life with missing it, you know, and when I look at the incredible luck and gift of that, it seems to me like the most mind-boggling miracle there is. So I think that's probably the number one thing I can think of, is that, you know, if I could love this much before I met Katie, I could love this much now, and just feeling that difference every day. So, also watching how she deals with situations, like, I'll give you an example. A gigantic dog wandered into our house one time. I'm talking about a Great Dane-sized dog. This dog came up to my chest practically. Anyway, we came back into our house. The upstairs door had been left open. It was a very hot day. And the dog had wandered into the house. And I came around the corner and saw the dog. And I went, no! You know, any possibility disappeared from my body. I was 100% terrified of the dog, fight or flight reflex, animal is going to eat me, in the grip of my most primitive programming. Katie said, oh, look, this dog wandered into our house. It didn't occur to her to get scared of the dog. And I tried to think, how could I invent a version of myself that didn't have that kind of fear reaction? You know, that is a big gift, just to be able to see somebody do something that was so different from the way I reacted. And I have really learned from that, you know, growing from that moment. But that stands out in my mind as this little signature moment where I thought, this is not like a normal human being. You know, it's like a space alien came in and landed, and came and say, hey, what do you got? I might be rolling over into a fetal position, but she'd be there. So that's another thing. Oh, wow. I just had another whole wave come through, which is the way Katie can gracefully move from one thing to the other, like in the course of the day. You know, she'll handle a bunch of business stuff. No complaints, ever. I've never heard a complaint out of her mouth. Then she'll teach a teleseminar. Then she'll go have breakfast with a friend. Then she'll go volunteer somewhere. Then she'll come back and, you know, we'll work together for a couple hours on something we're preparing. So she goes from one thing to the other using her genius just in such an elegant, graceful way. And without any kind of drama or any wasted effort. I think that's actually a secret. She basically produces no drama in her life. Zero drama. And it's so incredible to live in the space of that and to get an agreement then in our relationship that we don't do drama. And then all of the stuff that comes out of that, all the creativity that comes out of that, learning to surf on the edge of that creativity all the time. Very graceful, very graceful. I've also beginning to learn now, I won't say I've learned, but I'm beginning to learn how to appreciate aesthetic things. That comes directly from Katie. You know, like you've heard me say probably, when I met her, I had my 4 brown pairs of socks, my 2 brown pairs of pants, my 3 brown shirts, my 2 brown ties, my 2 pairs of brown shoes. And so the good thing, and the thing I liked about that strategy, is that everything matched. I never and that was for me the goal in those days, to have to think absolutely zero amount about clothing. And I'm getting better and better, but in those days I would say be more functional with regard to food. You know, get hungry, I eat, and then I do stuff. And I didn't pay much attention to the aesthetics of it. But then, when I first met Katie, she fed me a Caesar salad that she had made from scratch with the Caesar salad dressing like no restaurant has ever made, you know? And I had this Caesar salad, and I thought, oh my God, this is a dimension of eating that I have not experienced before. Even in a fancy restaurant. To have somebody cook food with love, I did not have that experience growing up. I had no tracks for food that was cooked without a considerable amount of resentment and drama adding to the mix. That was food where I came from. Okay? It wasn't this relax, everybody having a good time eating situation. It was like lots of people not speaking to each other kind of situations. And God bless you if you came from one of those Norman Rockwell eating families, but I probably, if we took a vote here, we probably would find that the Norman Rockwell ones are in the minority. But anyway, so I had a whole lot of stuff, Meg, to overcome with regard to just some of the basics of life, you know, like eating food that was healthy for my body, and my body began to change right away. And I feel somewhat guilty that I gave Katie a lot of crap about that kind of stuff early on in our marriage, because I would give her crap about spending so much money on vitamins and things, because we had hardly any money in those days, and she would come home. I remember this one time she came home with this 2 bags of groceries, and one whole bag was vitamins and lotions and potions and things like that. Left really specific things, you know, like eyelid cream and things like that. So anyway, I used to give her like hassle about that, and but fairly soon I quit doing that, because just about in every situation regarding the material world, it turned out that her approach was superior to mine. And so the smartest day of my life was the day I said, okay, I'm here as a student of you, not to control you or manipulate you or anything like that. If I ever look like I'm doing that kind of stuff, just kick my ass out. And I said, I want to learn everything I possibly can from you as a human being. And so that just started opening up lots of different dimensions of things I could learn from her. So,